Hey guys, it's Courtney from the Carolina Farmhouse, and I promised you guys in my seed haul video that I would talk to you about the results I got from my doctor. I had mentioned in a previous vlog that I was seeing a functional medicine practitioner in Chattanooga. I will put her information below. My parents live in Chattanooga, so I was able to go and see her for the first time in person. But then after that, she can do like a Zoom call, a phone call. So I went to my initial appointment there. You get an hour with her. Then she had a list of labs that she wanted me to draw, and I was able to go to a place here somewhat locally. And then we did a Zoom call to follow up with my results. So I got those results about a week ago, I think. And it was a little bit overwhelming just at the sheer mass of things that are imbalanced in my body and that we need to work on. She said that my liver enzymes are elevated, and I had previously been diagnosed with fatty liver when I was pregnant with Elliot. My liver swelled. It gave me all kinds of complications during my last two pregnancies, and I was under the impression that it was fine. But you know how at a lot of routine doctor visits, they won't do like in-depth panels. So I think that's why we missed this. So my liver is causing all kinds of problems. So our goal is to get the fat out of my liver and help my body to kind of cleanse out my liver so that it can actually function. She had all the technical terms for it. I'm probably butchering it, but I just need to get my liver healthy. She gave me some supplements to try to help with that, to help my bile production, which is going to help my liver kind of clean out. The next thing was I did a gut permeability test where you get that big fancy jug and you get to pee in it for like 24 hours. And it's basically testing the sugary drink that you drink, is testing to see if your gut and your intestines are are leaking. And mine were, so that explains a lot of complications, because when undigested substances are going into your bloodstream, it can cause all kinds of issues and inflammation and reactions. So she's putting me on several probiotics and prebiotics to help with that. But I did some research on my own about the GAPS diet. Is GAPS, and it stands for gut and psychology syndrome. And I think that's what we're going to do, but I'll get to that part later in the video. I was also extremely deficient in iron, vitamin D, folate, which are your B vitamins, I believe. She said my estrogen and progesterone were like concerningly low, so much so that she's like, it doesn't make sense that they would be this low. So she wants to do like a more in-depth panel on my hormones. Also, I was hypoglycemic, so my insulin, I was having issues with insulin. But she said she really wants me to focus on the first two things that could clear up a lot of the other problems, which are my liver and my gut. I'll be honest and say, after I left the call, it was good to have answers. I was so thankful she didn't say your labs are normal like a lot of other doctors had. She got to the root issues of what's going on in my body. However, trying to figure out how to fix this when you're already extremely fatigued and overwhelmed, it was a lot to process, and I took a little while to think about it and to research some gut healing diets, because I know that like a probiotic is not going to fix my leaky gut. The foods that I'm putting in my body are continually adding to the chaos in there, and so I wanted to remove those foods from my diets. However, when you have a leaky gut, you can have tons of reactions to foods because all food is leaking through. So I knew that like a food sensitivity test wasn't going to be much help, because whatever food I had eaten before the food sensitivity test was going to be what my body was reacting to. So I knew that a gut healing diet would be important to help my body heal. And I'm just at the point of feeling so sick and tired of being sick and tired and dealing with health issues that I want to fix the problem. I told my mom, I was like, if I have to drink chicken broth for a year, I will, because I just want to be better. So at first I was hesitant towards the GAPS diet because it is a little intense. The thought of adding something super in-depth and intense when I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed, it just seemed unfeasible. But then I started reading this book, and I'll link all the books I mentioned below. But this book, this is like the original GAPS book. This is by the Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride. She's the one who came up with the fact that so many of the issues we see today are caused by our gut leaking and our stomachs and our intestines being inflamed. She found this diet for her child that was severely autistic, and it completely got rid of his symptoms after a couple of years. I don't have anything that serious, but it's gut healing. That's the point of the diet. It's healing your gut so that whatever problems you may be having, they go away. It's like I said, it's very in-depth, and you can look up, there's tons of YouTube videos on the GAPS diet. I'm not going to give an exhaustive explanation here because there's so many more qualified people to talk about it, and I'm just now going to start it. Once I started reading this book, it convinced me that, like, okay, I think this diet could help fix the problems and not just mask it, but you have to do it for a long period of time. You have to be on it for at least a year. That was kind of daunting, but the more I thought about it and prayed about it and talked to Chris about it, the more that I felt led to just do it. You know how some people, they have like a word for the year. I didn't have one. Sometimes the Lord gives me a word, sometimes he doesn't. He hadn't for this year. And then with me getting the results of my health and me struggling so much, thinking about doing this diet, I think my word and my focus for the year is going to be health. I have got to make my health a priority or I'm not going to be able to function. And I have so much that I'm excited about and grateful for, and my family, my children, this place that God has blessed us with. I have so many dreams. I have 25 chicks coming in March. I have my garden almost ready, and I am physically incapable of doing that. So when you look at it like that, being on a gut healing diet for a year or more if I need it to set me up for a successful and healthy life and enjoying the things that God has given me, it doesn't seem that daunting. So that's kind of my reasoning behind it. But we're doing it as a family because a lot of the issues she described in this book, we all have them. Eli struggles with ADHD and focus, and he's just very sensory sensitive. Elliot is allergic to dairy. Hollis, I'm pretty sure, is allergic to dairy. That's something I've discovered in the last couple weeks. Rhett has had digestive issues since he was a toddler. Chris claims his gut is just fine, but we're going to put him on it anyway. It can't hurt. We're all just going to do it for a year. And the introductory phase, we're going to do it for 4 weeks and kind of feel it out, and then move to the full guts diet. So the introductory phase is a lot more restrictive. You first start off with broths and boiled meat, things that are very easy to digest. You add in natural probiotics. So I got some sauerkraut fermenting, and you start off putting a little bit of the juice into your soup and work your way up to the point of being able to eat the sauerkraut. You have to use healthy fats, are a really big part of the diet. So I finally rendered my tallow from the half a beef that we got a while ago, and that was an experience. So I now have tallow to cook with, and I have bone broth in Ziploc bags in the freezer because broth is a huge part of this diet and you need to drink it multiple times a day. So I've been trying to prepare this week to set myself up for success, and I am nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous about how hard it will be and how we're all gonna feel at first. You know how you go through like that kind of yucky phase of any like clean eating diet. And it's going to be hard when we go places, like when the kids are at homeschool co-op or birthdays and holidays and celebrations. And I know that people are going to think we're weird, and there are going to be family members that don't understand what we're trying to do. And I've been trying to prepare the kids and be like, okay, we've been eating everything in the house so that it's not here this week. And they're like, we can't have chips. And I'm like, no. And they're like, they're hesitant to do it, but I'm like, we're doing this because I care about you, and I don't want you to be 33 and struggling in your health and unable to enjoy your family because of something that I, as your mother, could have helped with. So that's kind of my heart in doing this as a family. I want my kids to succeed and be healthy, and I want myself to succeed and be healthy. So that's what we're doing. And y'all let me know. I was thinking of doing like a once a month update on how it's going and how we're feeling. Maybe share some recipes that we're doing if that's something that you're interested in. My channel is not going to become a GAPS channel, but I thought it might be cool to kind of see the progress of each month and see if it's actually making me feel better or not. The Heal Your Gut cookbook, this was really helpful because the author of it, she shares a lot of like their story of when they were going through it, and they did it as a family with their 5 kids. And then the fact that she has recipes broken down into the 6 stages that are in the introductory part was super helpful, because it's kind of overwhelming to be like, wait, when can we have this? And she broke it down really well. So I'm going to be using a lot of recipes from this. And then I also ordered, this is the complete cooking techniques for the GAPS diet, because there are a lot of things that you may not be familiar with. I know I am not. I've done a little bit of fermenting, but not a ton. Like rendering beef tallow, making chicken stock, making bone broth. It's not something that we do today as a society very often. And I know it used to be a lot more common, But this book just tells you how to do the things that might be overwhelming to you. That's kind of the plan. That's what we're doing. We start tomorrow. I'm stopping by on our date night tonight. Chris and I have a date night. I'm going to pick up 6 whole chickens from one of my friends who raises their own meat. I'm also getting pork bones to make more bone broth. It's going to be a journey, but I'm feeling peace about it. I feel like this is the right decision for us. We'll see how it goes. If we just feel like terrible at first, I feel hopeful for the first time in a long time with my health. I finally know what the issues are instead of kind of grasping for straws and being like, oh, I think it might be my hormones. Oh, I think it might be this. I know it's my gut and my liver. And so what am I going to do to support that in a way that's going to heal my body? God created our bodies to heal themselves. When you get a cut, your body knows what to do to heal that cut. And I want to give my body all the tools necessary for it to heal itself because I'm so tired of dealing with this. There's my Christmas clock. And if you've been following with us since we moved, you know that we have all just been so sick. And I know there's a lot going around, but our immune systems are just very weak right now. You know, what do they say? 60-80% of your immune system is found in your gut. So if my gut is leaking and it's inflamed and struggling, no wonder I'm sick all the time. I feel hopeful to fix the problems, and that feels good. At the same time, I'm very apprehensive and nervous about this new lifestyle change because it's not just a diet. The goal here is not to lose weight, even though that would be wonderful, because my inflammation and puffiness and weight gain since we moved has been a lot. It'll be nice to shed some of that, but that's the least of my concerns right now. Like, this is not a diet for me to feel good in a bathing suit. This is about healing myself and feeling good and being capable of living out the things that God has brought in my life and the things I'm excited about. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because y'all have been so kind and praying for me, and I finally have answers. It's going to be a continual process. You know, if my hormones don't self-regulate and my thyroid, that's one thing I forgot to mention, my thyroid numbers were just now starting to look bad. She thinks we caught it early enough where I don't have to take medicine, but it could be a problem. We've caught a lot of issues that could turn into something big at the beginning phases. And as I continue to see this functional medicine doctor and get more labs drawn and follow-up appointments and things like that, I'm excited to see if this diet and lifestyle change is benefiting. I feel like it will because I think food heals. I think food can destroy and heal. Have any of you ever done the GAPS diet? Have you ever heard of it? If so, do you have any encouraging stories to kind of keep us motivated? Thank y'all so much for your prayers, for your support. As I have not been feeling myself, I'm excited to hopefully start headed uphill and start feeling better. So yeah, that's my update, and I'll keep you guys posted.